Ready to escape into a world of books and pixels? What is up, YouTube? This is Imagineworks here, and today we will be reading the final story in my Railway series book. This story is called The Twin Engines, and our story stops are Hello Twins, The Missing Coach, Brake Fan, and The Deputation. Dear friends, Sir Topham Hatt has just been having a disturbing time. He was ordered one goods engine from Scotland, and was surprised to receive two. They both had lost their numbers, and no one knew which was which. So he didn't know which engine to keep. Hello, twins. More and more people traveled on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. More and more ships came to the harbors. Everyone had to work very hard indeed. The freight cars complained bitterly, but then freight cars always do, and no one takes much notice. The coaches complained too. No sooner had they arrived with one train, they had to go out again with fresh passengers on another. We don't know whether we're coming or going, they protested. We feel quite distracted. No one can say, grumbled Henry, that we're afraid of hard work, but we draw the line at goods trains, finished Gordon. Dirty freight cars, dirty sidings, ugh, put in James. What are you boiler aching about? Asked Duck. I remember, on the Great Western, that tin pot railway. Tin pot indeed. Let me tell you— Silence! Ordered a well-known voice. Let me tell you that an engine for goods work will arrive from Scotland tomorrow. The news was received with acclamation. There we go. Good God, I can't say that right. The next day, the inspector brought news. Sir Topham Hatt stared. Did you say two engines, Inspector? Yes, sir. Then send the other engine back at once. Then send the other back at once. Certainly, sir, but which? Topham Hatt stared again. Engines have numbers, Inspector, he explained patiently. We bought number 57646. Send the other one back. Quite so, sir, but there is a difficulty. What do you mean? The two engines are exactly alike, sir, and have no numbers. They say they lost them on the way. Sir Topham Hatt seized his hat. We'll soon settle that nonsense, he said grimly. The two engines greeted him cheerfully. I hear you've lost your numbers, Sir Topham Hatt said. How did that happen? They may have slyly slipped off, sir. Ye know who it is? The engines spoke in chorus. I know. Accidentally. On purpose. The twins looked pained. Sir, you wouldn't be thinking we lost them on purpose. I'm not so sure, said Sir Topham Hatt. Now then, which one of you is 57646? That, sir, is just what we canna mind. Sir Topham Hatt looked at their solemn faces. He turned away. He seemed to have difficulty of his own. He swung round again. What are your names? Donald and Dougie, sir. Good, he said. Then your controller can tell me which one of you is which. You won't get much help for him, sir. Why? He don't know or names, sir. How could he? We only gave ourselves names when we lost our numbers. Oh my God, my Scottish accent sucks. I do apologize for any Scots watching, or for any Scottish people watching this. I do apologize. One of you, said Sir Topham Hatt, is playing truant. That's an interesting word. I shall find him out and send him home. Inspector, he ordered, give these engines numbers and set them to work. He walked sternly away. Soon, workmen came to give the twins their numbers. Donald was 9 and Douglas 10. When the men went away, they were left alone in their shed. Ye may have noticed, Dougie, that young painters forgot something. What did they forget? They painted brand new numbers on our tenders, but they put none on us. Donald winked broadly at his twin. You mean, grinned Douglas, that we can— Just that, chuckled Donald. Keep it down. Here's the inspector. Now, 9 and 10, said the inspector. Here's Duck. He'll show you round before you start work. The twins enjoyed themselves and were soon friends of Duck. They didn't mind what they did. They tackled goods trains and coaches easily. For once, the twins had shunted them. For once, For once the twins had shunted them, freight cars knew better than to try any tricks. "We like it fine here," said Donald. "That's good," smiled Duck, "but take my tip. Watch out for Gordon, Henry, and James. They're sure to try some nonsense." "Don't worry yourself," chuckled Douglas. "We'll soon settle them." Donald and Douglas had deep-toned whistles. "They sound like buses," said Gordon. "Or ships," sniggered Henry. "Tugboat Annie," laughed Gordon. "Ha ha ha." "Wait, Tugboat Annie? Who's that?" Anyway, Donald and Douglas cruised quietly up, one on each side. "You wouldn't be making fun of us, would you now?" asked Donald. Gordon and Henry jumped. They glanced nervously from side to side. No," said Gordon. No, certainly not," said Henry. "That's fine," said Douglas. "No, just mind the both of ye, and keep it that way." And that was the way Gordon and Henry kept it. Every day, punctually at 3:30, Gordon steams in with the express. It's called the Wild Nor'Wester. Now, why wasn't that mentioned in the TV show? That would have been perfect. Anyway, and it is full of people from England, Wales, and Scotland. There is also a special coach for passengers traveling to places on Thomas's branch line. When the other engines are taken away, when the other coaches are taken away empty, engines have to remember to shunt the special coach to the bay platform. It does not wait there long. Thomas, if any Clarabelle comes hurrying from the junction to fetch it. Thomas is very proud of his special coach. Also, me personally, I wouldn't have minded if the if the special coach was an express coach, just maybe brightly colored or something. Anyway, one afternoon, Douglas helped Duck in the yard while Donald waited to take a good train to the other end of the line. As Duck was busy arranging Donald's freight cars, Douglas offered to take away Gordon's coaches. Douglas was enjoying himself when an awful thought struck him. "I hope Sir Topham Hatt doesn't find out I shouldn't be here. I couldn't bide going back." He worried so much over this that he forgot about Thomas's special coach. He pushed it with the others into the carriage siding, then ambled along to join Donald at the water column. As he went, Thomas skipped by whistling cheerfully. Soon Thomas came fussing. "Where's my coach?" "Coach?" asked Donald. "What coach?" "My special coach that Gordon brings for me. It's gone. I must find it." He bustled away. "Gosh sakes," said Douglas. "I may have stowed the special coach with the others." "Do you see that?" exclaimed Donald's driver. A mob of angry passengers erupted from the siding. "They're complaining to Sir Topham Hatt. He'll be coming here next." "Now listen," said Douglas's driver. "We'll change tenders. Then away with ye, Donald, and take those goods. Don't worry about us. Quick no. Do as I say." Sir Topham Hatt and three passengers walked towards them. But Donald, with Douglas's tender, number 10, was out and away with the goods before they came near. Douglas and his driver waited with innocent expressions. "Ah," said Sir Topham Hatt, "number 9, and why have you not taken the goods?" "My tender is away, sir." The driver showed him the tender still uncoupled. I see. Some defect, no doubt. Tell me, why did number 10 leave so quickly?" "Me, sir," put in Douglas. "He saw ye coming and thought he was late." Said Topham Hatt, turning to the passengers. "Here, gentlemen, are the facts. Number 10 has been shunting the yard. Your coach disappeared. We investigate. Number 10, disappears too. You can draw your conclusions. Please accept my apologies. The matter will be investigated. Good afternoon, gentlemen." Sir Topham Hatt watched them till they had climbed the station ramp. His shoulders twitched. He wiped his eyes. Douglas wondered if he was crying. He wasn't. He swung round suddenly. "Douglas," he rapped. That's an interesting way of putting that. "Why are you masquerading with Donald's tender?" "Brake fan." Sir Topham Hatt scolded both engines severely. "There must be no more tricks," he said. "I shall be watching you both. I have to decide which of you is to stay." He strode away. The twins looked glum. Neither wanted to stay without the other. They said so. "Then what are we to do?" wondered Douglas. "Ooch," said Donald. "Each of us be good as the other. Then he'll have to keep both of and then it'll have to keep us both. Their plan was good, but they reckoned without a spiteful brake van. The van had taken a disliking to Douglas. Things always went wrong when Douglas had to take it out. Then his trains were late and he was blamed. Douglas began to worry. "You're a muckle nuisance," said Donald one day. "It's to leave you behind I be wantin'." "You can't," said the van. "I'm essential." Ooh, Jaria," Donald burst out. "You're nothing but a screeching and a noise when all said and done. Spite Dougie, would you? Take that! Oh, cried the van. "Quit your whining," said Donald severely. "There's more coming, if you misbehave." The van behaved better after that, and Douglas's trains were punctual, and the twins felt happier. Then Donald had an accident. He backed into a siding, the rails were slippery, he couldn't stop in time, and crashed through the buffers into a signal box. One moment, the signalman was standing on the stairs, the next, he was sitting on the coal in Donald's tender. He was most annoyed. "You clumsy great engine," he stormed. "Now you must stay there. You've jammed my switches. It serves you right for spoiling my nice new signal box." Sir Topham Hatt was cross too. "I am disappointed, Donald. I did not expect such clumsiness from you. I had decided to send Douglas back and keep you." "I'm sorry, sir," said Donald. But Donald didn't say what he was sorry for. And I'm sorry, sir, but Donald didn't say what he was sorry for. We know, don't we? "I should think so, too," Sir Topham Hatt went on indignantly. "You have upset my arrangements. It is most convenient. Now James will have to help with the goods work while your tender is mended. James won't like that." Sir Topham Hatt was right. James grumbled dreadfully. "One would think," said Douglas, "that Donald had his accident on purpose," he went on. "I heard tell about an engine and some tar wagons." Gordon and Henry chuckled. "Shut up," said James. "It's not funny." Woo, said Douglas innocently. "Surely, James, it wasn't ye." You don't say?" James didn't say. He was sulky the next morning and wouldn't steam properly. When at last he did start, he bumped the freight cars hard. "He's cross," snickered the spiteful brake van. "We'll try to make him crosser still." "Hold back," whispered the van to the freight cars. "Hold back," giggled the freight cars to each other. James did his best, but he was exhausted when they reached Edward Station. Luckily, Douglas was there. "Help me up the hill, please," panted James. "These freight cars are playing tricks." "We'll show 'em," said Douglas grimly. Come on, puffed James crossly. Get moving, you, puffed Douglas from behind. Slowly but surely, the snorting engines forced the unwilling freight cars up the hill, but James was losing steam. I can't do it, he panted. Leave it to me, shouted Douglas. He pushed and he puffed so furiously that sparks leapt from his funnel. Ooh, groaned the van. I wish I never thought of this. It was squeezed between Donald and the freight cars. Go on, it screamed, but they took no notice. The guard was anxious. Go steady, he yelled to Douglas. The van's braking. It was too late. The guard jumped as the van collapsed. He landed safely on the side of the line. I might have known it would be Douglas. I'm sorry, sir. Maybe I was clumsy, but I wouldn't be beaten by yon tricksy van. I see, said Sir Topham Hatt. Edward brought workmen to clear the mess. Douglas was grand, sir, he said. James had no steam left, but Douglas worked hard enough for 3. I heard him from my yard. 2 would have been enough, said Sir Topham Hatt, dryly. I want to be fair, Douglas, he went on. I admire your determination, but I don't know. I really don't know. He turned and walked thoughtfully away. The deputation. He'll send us away for sure, Donald. I'm thinking ye right there, Dougie. Luck's been again us. An engine doesn't know what to do for the best. Snow came early that year. It was heavier than usual. It stayed too and choked the wine. Most engines hate snow. Donald and Douglas were used to it. They knew what to do. Their driver spoke to the inspector, and they were soon coupled back to back with a van between their tenders. Then, each with a snowplow on their fronts, they set to work. They puffed and busily backwards and forwards, patrolling the line. Generally, the snow slipped away easily, but sometimes they found deeper drifts. Then they would charge them again and again, snorting, slipping, puffing, panting, till they had forced their way through. Presently, they came to a drift which was larger than most. They charged it and were backing with another try when there was a feeble whistle. People waved and shouted, "Heaven's sakes, Donny! Heaven's sakes, Donald! It's Henry! Don't you worry yourself, Henry. Wait a bit, I will have ye out." Sir Topham Hatt was returning soon. The twins were glum. "He'll send us back for sure," they said. "It's a shame," sympathized Percy. "A lot of nonsense about a signal box," grumbled Gordon. "Too many of those, if you ask me. That brake van, too," put in James. "Good riddance, that's what I say." "They were splendid in the snow," added Henry. "It isn't fair." They all agreed that something must be done, but none knew what. One day, Percy talked to Edward about it. "What you need," said Edward, "is a deputation." He explained what that was. Percy ran back quickly. "Edward says we need a depot station," he called the others. "Of course," said Gordon. "The question is, what's a desperation?" asked Henry. "It's when engine tells Sir Topham Hatt's wrong and they put it right," exclaimed Percy. "Did you say tell Sir Topham Hatt?" asked Duck. There was a long silence. "I propose," said Gordon to us, "that Percy be our disputation." Oh my god, all of them are messing it up. "Me?" squeaked Percy. "I can't." "Rubbish, Percy," said Henry. "It's easy." "That's settled then," said Gordon. Poor Percy wished it wasn't. When Sir Topham Hatt returned, he came to the yard. "Hello, Percy. It's nice to be back." Percy jumped. Some freight cars went flying. Yes, sir. Please, sir." "You look nervous, Percy. What's the matter?" "Please, sir. They've made a desperation, sir. I speak to you, sir. I don't like it, sir." Sir Topham Hatt pondered. "Do you mean a deputation, Percy?" he asked. "Yes, sir, please, sir. It's Donald and Douglas, sir. They say, sir, that if you send them away, sir, they'll be turned to scrap, sir. That'll be dreadful, sir. Please, sir, don't send them away, sir. They're nice engines, sir." "Thank you, Percy. That will do." The next day, Sir Topham Hatt came into the yard. "I had a, deputation yesterday. I understand your feelings, but I do not approve of interference." He paused impressively. "Donald and Douglas, I hear your work in the snow was good. What color paint would you like?" The twins were surprised. "Blue, sir, please." "Very well. But your names will be painted on you. We will have no more mistakes." "Thank you, sir. Does that mean the bath of us?" Sir Topham Hatt smiled. "It means," but the rest of his speech was drowned in a delighted chorus of cheers and whistles. The end. Wait, hold on. The end. And that is the entire Railway series. Here is a map of the island of Sodor. Now, usually, this is where I would end things, but since this is the final story of this book, I decided to do something very special. And that is to go over all of the special Thomas toys and media that are to me. So, fittingly, without further ado, let's go. Sticking with the theme of books, I have this. This is a Thomas and Friends for board books inside my Red Railway book box. Y'all have probably seen this before, as I featured it on the channel before. But just as a refresher, these are the books that I read before I got the idea to read the whole Railway series. Alright, there's that. Now, on to toys. This is a Take-Along Thomas. As you can see, his cab roof is a bit faded. And yeah, that's what he looks like. And his eyes are a bit faded. Yeah, this thing's very old and loved, but yep, that's my Take-Along Thomas. Here is my wooden railway. CG-faced Thomas. So yeah, that's what this looks like. There's a CG face. His eyes are like tiny for some weird reason. Here's that side of him. Well, there we go. I do apologize for all the dust in advance. Yeah, I haven't taken this toy out in a long time. Oh yeah, there's my wooden railway Thomas, and fitting for just coming off of the railway series, here is this. Now, I believe this is Thomas as a J70? Either a J50 or a J70. I think it's a J70. I'll have to look online. Hopefully I'm right. Yeah, but this is Thomas in 1942. Again, I think it's J70. Actually, let me jump cut really fast and look that up. So, after doing some research, I was right. Thomas was going to be a J50, not a J70. The J70 is actually Toby's basis. But the J50, this was what Thomas was originally going to look like. And as you can see, it was made in 1942, but I could already show that. Alright, that's enough of this. It's enough of this toy. Now, on to something really special, and I mean really special. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So, a lot of you know that I've done videos on the Railway series, or that I just finished reading the Railway series. What y'all might not know is that I actually have some of the VHS tapes. Here is Thomas Breaks the Rules and Other Stories. Here's the back of it. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering where I get story stops from, that's where I... Oh, come on. There we go. That's where I get that from. And of course, because it was Season 1, live-action animation. Oh, and at the top it says... Oops. At the top it says, as seen on Shining Time Station. So, this is a Shining Time Station. This is from Shining Time Station, which is very interesting. Our next tape is James Learns a Lesson and Other Thomas Stories. I'm not sure if I said this in the other one, but this is storyteller Ringo Starr. Thomas Breaks the Rules and Other Stories also had storyteller Ringo Starr. Here's the back of this one. Live action animation. Our story stops are... Yeah. Now, this next one is very special. Many of you in the Thomas fandom should recognize this. Thomas and the Magic Railroad, the original VHS release. I am so glad to have this with me still. This movie holds a bunch of memories for me. I grew up watching both this version and the DVD version when I was younger. And because it's a movie, there's the description. Let me try and center it. There we go. There's the description. There's all the actors underneath. There's the standard VHS thing. So yeah. Yep. Thomas and the Magic Railroad. This next one is a season 5, I think so. Races, Rescues, and Runaways. And I believe this is season 5 because it has Toby and the Flood, Put Upon Percy, Horror Worry, By George, Something in There, Oliver's Fine. This VHS tape, just like Magic Railroad, is also very popular among the Thomas community because this was a lot of people's exposure to season 5. This just looks so cool in my opinion. Here's the back of it again. Oh, entertainment to grow up with. That's Britt Allcroft's slogan. Slogan? I guess so. Yeah, the Britt Allcroft Company slogan. Oh, look, and there's Thomas with his season 1 face. I don't think I mentioned that on the others. There's a few Thomas tapes I have that have, like, his season 1 face. Also, of course, storyteller Alec Baldwin. Here's the description. And there you go. Our next... Now, we're on to, like, season 6, 7, I believe. This next one is. I think this one's season 6. But this one is Salty Secrets. And it says, Salty Secret, Harvey to the Rescue. Yeah, I think this one's also season 6, I think. I'm not too sure. It's either season 6 or 7. I always get those seasons confused. But, yeah. Also, interestingly enough, Thomas's season 1 face is on here. Also, you can tell that it's a different era because it says Ghislaine on the side. And you can also tell that it's like 2000s Thomas because it has the Thomas and Friends logo on it. If we go back to the season 5 DVD, you can see the classic era Thomas logo. Oh, it doesn't say Britt Allcroft on the side. That's interesting. Anyway, but yeah, there's the classic Thomas logo, and here's the modern one. I'm sure everyone in the fandom is familiar with the modern Thomas logo by now. All right, Salty Secret. And then the next one is... is another 2000s era Thomas VHS tape, and that is, if it'll stop popping through the top, goodness, and that is Percy Saves the Day and Other Adventures. Here's the back of this one. Oh yeah, it does say Britt Allcroft down there. Interesting. Oh, come on, camera. There we go. It does say Britt Allcroft Company down there. It also says Anchor Bay. Oh, look, and it says Hit. Okay, so this is a Hit era tape, but that's kind of interesting because a lot of people consider oops, it's falling out. Consider that this is like a classic era seasons. That's interesting to see. Yeah, Percy Saves the Day. And finally, our last Thomas tape, this one's in like super good condition, is Hooray for Thomas. Now this one, I believe, is season 7, I think. Kind of interesting how I got all like seasons, I think. Anyway, now this one I believe is season 7, I think. I'm not too sure. Again, I always get season 6 and 7 confused when it comes to Thomas, but... so yeah. Also, something else you'll notice is that the box where it says Our Story Stops Are, it actually... oops, I'm covering up the Hit Arrow logo. There we go. It says, it's actually in a bigger font, possibly to help people distinguish it. And there's the... oh, it's slipping out. There's the Anchor Bay logo, there's the Hit logo, there's the Britt Allcroft logo. So yeah. And so, we have come to the end of our journey. Now it's time for all of us to go home. Just like Thomas. Oh, and let's not forget to bring the fun out of the roundhouse and into your house today with the Railway series. With the Railway series and all of my Thomas VHS tapes that I've shown you today. Alright. Now, on to the more real-world YouTube stuff. If you would like to see videos like these where I do storybooks, or I do different storybooks, as well as play different games, hence my little creative intro that I've had, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Talk to y'all later. P.S. Here's some of the other storybooks I may be reading. Don't forget to stay tuned, only on ImagineWorks 03.